Hello IBYS members. Today we're actually going to be covering mantra meditation. This is going to be your first lesson. So this is a simple and basic approach to self-realization. This will be lesson 1. First we're going to go into the science of philosophy. Okay, so actually before I continue here, what I want to touch upon is what Bhakti Yoga is, and what we actually cover is the science of philosophy. Now you're going to say, no way, philosophy can't be a science. You can't study philosophy. There's no hard science behind it. You can't prove it in a laboratory. Guess what? We have done it. We can prove everything that we say here in a laboratory, and we can answer all your questions for that matter, right? I know that's hard to believe, but yes, we can do that. And I'll show you. For example, we could give you the experiment. We could show you, yes, this is what you can do. You can even prove it in real life. But it may take you years upon years, maybe even a lifetime just to be able to cover that. This has been compiled for centuries upon centuries upon centuries upon centuries upon centuries, and so forth, on thousands and thousands and thousands of years, even millions of years. So to be able to actually try to test it out now, you could. It's a waste of time. If it's already there, that's why we accept it. We have tested out even smaller principles, and yes, it does work. So I'll continue from here. Here are just a couple points. We can answer all your questions. There are 8. Excuse me. Sorry about that. There's a typo there. Actually, 8,400,000 species of life present on this planet. Sorry about that. Yoga has a different meaning than what you think right now. That 2 plus 2 equals 3. I'm just kidding. This information dates before any records were ever recorded. Right now, that's approximately 5,000 years ago, according to modern-day scientists' research. Every detail can be proven by hard science, but it takes one heck of a long time, as I said before. That life is suffering, and we need to face that. So what do? We come up with a solution. That's why we're here. Excuse me. Okay, so sorry about that. What this is saying is basically criteria that needs to be met to fulfill mantra meditation. So I'm gonna get into this just a little bit. The first one is mercy. Okay, mercy here means to help living entities materially as well as spiritually. So what I'm trying to say here is to excel. Everything that I'm actually giving you here is meant to help you excel through your meditation at a faster rate than if you were doing it, how would I say, without these couple principles. These are called the 4 principles of freedom. So these will actually help you progress even faster through the meditation and create a more stable base to where you can benefit even more. So you don't have to do this. You don't have to do any of these if you don't want to. Or you don't have to do. You can do even just a small amount, and you'll still get benefit. But you just won't get as much as if you're doing all of them. It doesn't matter. Don't force yourself into them. It's not healthy. If you want to get into them, we can help you. We can form a program. We can get you into it. We've already had a couple members. I'm not allowed to say names. It's against privacy policy. But some of these members have already built a program upon which they've based their principles. So I'm going to get into this, and I'll give you a couple examples. So as I said before, this one's mercy, to help living entities materially as well as spiritually. So what I'm kind of saying is bringing about a vegetarian diet. Usually when someone thinks of a vegetarian diet, they think, oh, yuck. It's going to be food that, doesn't taste good. It's going to be only salads and da-da-da-da-da, right? Well, no. Not necessarily. You can live off a vegetarian diet, get your protein, get your enzymes, get your minerals, right? All the vegetarian diet does, and you can ask anybody who's ever followed a vegetarian diet before, or a vegan diet, or a raw diet, your whole, your concentration, your focus, your mind, it changes to where you can focus and concentrate better. On tests, it's easier. For meditation, it's easier. Okay, so yes, it does help increase your focus and concentration. just entirely mentally, and it also helps well, when you're aging. It's proven that you'll actually live a lot longer living on a vegetarian diet. The problem and I'm not saying that meat's bad or anything, but basically the problem with meat is when it's going through your digestive system. The reason why you get tired and the reason your body actually has a strain is when it goes through your kidneys. It takes a lot more to excrete the meat. To be able to break it down, digest it, and then excrete it, it takes a lot of energy from your body. That energy can be utilized to be able to bring it forth to learn to focus and concentrate. And so we already have some members who are they did a vegetarian diet, and they liked it so much they went into a vegan diet. And then they loved that, and they thought, oh man, I'm feeling so good. What else can I do? I told them about a raw diet. I'm not saying you've got to do a vegan or a raw diet. I'm just saying that this guy really liked it. This is actually our second member he's in love with it, and he's gone on a full raw diet, and he has been in bliss, literally bliss. It's amazing that I should be able to see that. I'm gonna continue. Next is austerity, and I'm not saying to go into a forest and meditate. That's extremely impractical for this day and age. But austerity is to take only what we really need without greed or violence. It's interesting because when I'm talking about this, I'm kind of coming to the point of intoxication. We try to restrain from intoxication. It's unnatural. Um, you lose control of your senses and you lose control of your mind, right? That is exactly what we're not trying to do. This yoga is supposed to help you control your senses and control your mind. So best to refrain from this. That's the best summary I can probably give at the moment. Truthfulness means that we should not lie or gamble. This comes into gambling. Again, I think the best way to actually give you an example is to tell you a story. This is Turmoil Tim, okay? And he decided, okay, I just got my last paycheck. I'm going to go to Vegas and make it big, right? So he didn't know what he was doing. He invested all his money, and he spent one night there. He came out and he was crying, sobbing. He lost his life's savings all in one night. One, you become in turmoil. Two, if you do win all that money, you're cheating. You really are cheating because it's a falsehood. You didn't really earn that money. You played a game and you got that money. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, we believe in a hard work, and we do believe in morals and values. So this is one of those that technically goes against all of that. I'll continue here. Cleanliness of body, mind, and soul. This doesn't, for example, there is physical cleanliness. We can say like taking a shower, etc., which is one of the types of cleanliness of body. Then we have of mind, which is your mental cleanliness, and of your soul, with spiritual cleanliness, right? So we focus on those three. We will clean your mind and your soul, and you keep cleaning your body. So that's kind of what the cleanliness comes into. So this again leads into illicit sex. And yes, you're gonna be like, why is Selena Gomez here for illicit sex? She was just a perfect example. Well, the first thing when I googled no illicit sex, she was the first article to come up, and I was wondering, huh, that's kind of odd. So I clicked on it, I looked in, and it actually gave a story of her stating that she does not want to have illicit sex. She doesn't want to have sex before marriage. She actually got her dad. This is actually the story. She got her dad. Well, one day a reporter actually came and asked her, "Oh, will you ever have sex outside of marriage?" I don't know how it came up, but it came up, and she said no, she doesn't want to have it. And to make sure she reminded herself of it, she went and asked her dad to buy a ring and offer it at a nearby church. And so now every time she looks at that ring, it reminds her of she's not going to have illicit sex. She's not going to have sex until marriage. Okay, next is belief in a soul. Oh, wrong soul. Let me go to the next one. True belief in a soul. Here you go. This is the soul I'm talking about. This is one of those concepts. If you don't believe in a soul at the moment, that's all right. The best way to look for example, to look at the soul is to the best way to look at it is to view yourself as if you're in a car. So picture yourself in a car. The car is your body, right? You control the car. What is you? You are the soul. You are the person inside the car, right? The cargo doesn't control itself. The body doesn't control itself. It has to have something that animates it. If not, then that body is just a lump of matter, right? So your soul is the driver. It's the driver of your body. Therefore, all those actions and everything that you perceive is your soul. You are the driver. You are the soul. Okay, I'll get into that farther if you still don't believe me. There's a, there's a lot of stuff into it. It's extremely interesting and it's extremely true. There's even some cases of kids, maybe even people who are put into a trance. They go into previous lives. They'll tell about stories. They were maybe shopping at here at this certain place. There's even a kid in Ireland. You can probably even look him up on YouTube. And he remembers falling down. He was with another family. He fell down a slope, and he named the house in the exact location, exact road, exact place, you know, at the exact time. He even got to see his old family, right? What happens is he fell down, and somehow he came into a different body. That's all he remembers. Like he just fell down a kind of like a not really a cliff, but more like a sort of beach type of cliff. So maybe he hit his head or something. But all he remembers is falling down and landing up in this new family, right? How does that work? There's got to be an answer. Then maybe, for example, there's also Mozart or Beethoven. And they all started composing when they were like little kids. How's that possible? How can they start making masterpieces of works? There's got to be some aspect here, but this actually is I'm actually leading this into belief in reincarnation. This is where Mozart and Beethoven kind of play in a little bit more. Here again, there's also the example of the soul, and you as the body, you are changing bodies, taking off a coat, putting on a coat. Imagine you taking off a coat and putting on a coat. It's just like changing bodies. You can take off a coat and put on a new one, right? Take off a coat, put on a new one. Exact same thing. We also reincarnate in this same life, even though we don't know it. But if you close your eyes right now, right, envision yourself as, or maybe you don't even have to envision yourself. You can envision someone else. Just envision a baby, maybe a kid, maybe 3 or 4 years old, then maybe a 6 or 7 year old, 10 to 13 year old, 17-year old, 18-year old, maybe 30-year-old, 35, 40, 50 years old, middle age, maybe around 70, 80, 90, etc. Does that image from each age, does it look the exact same? Does a kid look identical like to the middle-aged person? No, they don't. They look completely different. What does that mean? It's actually been proven that we actually reincarnate in this life. We actually, they've even proven that our cells, they die off in a fashion to where that's why our physique changes. That's why our facial structure changes. That's why our entire body changes. That's exactly why. Besides the cells, there's a lot of other functions. If you really want to get into that, I suggest attending a Connect. I think right now I'm actually gonna have to end it here. I'm running out of time, but I'll see you in part 2. Have a great day. Bye.